Welcome back, everyone, to another survival episode number 6 today. We're not working in here, but if anyone wants to take a guess on what this building's going to be, it's down the street at the end, and this is what it looks like right now. This is pretty much going to be the layout, so take a guess, and then you'll have to find out in the next episode. But no, today we're working down here. We're going to be creating a fish farm. One where I can trade some fish with some villagers for the villager hall and the iron farm. Steve, where are you? Steve? I don't know where Steve is. Steve is gone. Steve is missing, but that is okay because we don't need Steve today. He reminds me of like a fly sometimes where you don't expect him to show up, but he will show up, and it's going to be at the worst possible time. So I'm sure he's going to turn up some point in this episode, but we have a lot of resource gathering just for this building, and I also need some for the fish farm. More specifically, lots of spruce, because the spruce forest is actually quite far away from here, and so whenever I go out there, I want to grab a lot just so I don't have to keep going back and forth. So I want to add up I want to make this like an alleyway, kind of. Just keep this completely separate from the rest of the build. So just going to stack this up with iron bars. And iron bars, fences and slabs are like the worst things to place, because you have to be so precise on where you actually place them. It's ridiculous. There needs to be like a buffer with this. So I've placed this big dock around it. What I'm doing in the corners is I'm going to be adding the spruce pillars just so it kind of looks like that's how it's holding it up. But the thing is, I have to go right to the bottom of the ocean, because if it's not the bottom, I'm going to know that it's not at the bottom. So I need to just very precisely right at the bottom. This takes up a lot of wood. This is I can't speak. This is an unnecessary amount of wood, but it'll make sure I get to sleep tonight. So that's why we're doing it. I put a little slab on top, just so it hides the bark a little bit. So that's kind of ugly. Let's be real. That's really ugly. But I tried to make it like a crane carrying up a big net. Okay, there's no net in Minecraft. That should be the next update. Net. But what's going to happen, we're going to have the fish floating up here, and they're all going to then die. Yep, he's been spotted. What's he doing down there? I knew he would show up eventually. Every single time, I always find him some part in the city that he shouldn't be there. Why are you underneath the whole dock? I mean, I guess that's one way to keep him out of the city, I guess. Yep, he's just gonna be stuck underneath there. Just go around. Go around. Well, anyway, this is what's happening here, okay? So we have water at the top that's gonna flow all the way down and gonna make the fish kind of go towards the campfire where they're all gonna burn. Now, I should be seeing bubbles, because I have soul sand at the bottom. Unless... Oh, it has to be one of those, I don't know what it's called. Air-filled blocks? I mean, I guess every block has air in it, but... What's it really called? I don't know. It has to be... Don't I have to put, like, kelp in it or something? So it floats up? There we go. Yeah, I had to put... Every single block need a piece of kelp to go right to the top, so I get my bubbles. So what happens is the fish, they'll swim up and they'll go into the fire. Now I had to have that glass there because they kept splashing out everywhere. They kind of were going over the fire, like, fire jumping. How are you stuck? And how did you get stuck in the iron bar? This is ridiculous. Get in there. Yes. That fish tried to escape death. It's still trying. It's trying its best. Eventually it's going to give up, right? Yep, they gave up. So it goes. Nope. Swim over. Okay, this. They'll get there eventually, right? Just get into the. There we go. Steve is taking some inspiration from my fish farm, and he's trying to create his own. I mean, I guess it's working. It's stuff is dying in there. Oh, there's a. Oh, there. He's having fun down there. He's just floating up everywhere. I think he's gonna try and make his own fish farm, or maybe glow squid farm. Steve is having way too much fun with this. Like, he just keeps going up and down. Like, he's having way too much fun. Oh, man. So what I want to do is I want to add a vendor in here. A vendor that sells fish. Almost so it would seem as, you know, like a place in the city where you can go just get some nice fried fish. You got the fish farm right there. It only makes sense to add a vendor here. So I just want to go with a very basic design, just kind of like the oak all around the edge. And I have the wool from the wool farm, and I want to make it like a tent. You know when you go to a carnival and there'd be like those tents with like stripes on it? So we're just going to be doing one of those stripes, red and white stripes, all along the top. Now, my one mistake was not dyeing any of the wool red, but at the same time, I have red or poppies from the iron farm, so I wasn't too concerned as much. But yeah, so we just got the tent finished, and then I wanted to add some details inside, make it seem like it was a real vendor. So I wasn't too happy with the oak at first, and then I tried something different and went right back to the oak. And I needed a campfire, and I was too bothered to make one, so I kind of just stole one from the fish farm. And I wanted to add a couple furnaces, almost as like ovens or grills or something like that. And I have the one campfire. And then I noticed that, you know, campfires create smoke, and the smoke was going right onto the tent. So it would kind of mean that the tent would catch on fire. So I add a little hole in the top, just so all the smoke can escape. Just gives it the illusion, even though it won't catch on fire. And then I needed some iron because I wanted to make a detector rail, almost to make it seem like on top of the stove, it has like, you know, a spot for where you put each pan. I wanted to make the detector rail, give the furnaces that illusion so you can grill the fish on it. And then it was a pain to put all the detector rails on because I didn't want to work at first. But eventually got to work, and it looks pretty nice. So we're bringing Steve over. Okay, Steve, what are you thinking? This is where you come and you get your fish, and I get some fish. Let me get some fish for you, Steve. I'll pass it off. You're going to get some salmon. Actually, I need 4 pieces of salmon because that's how much it fits on. Okay, there we go. We got some salmon, Steve. So all we have to do is then you put the salmon. Now, you watching? Oh, I'm over here. See? There we go. Just put it right on the campfire, and it's going to cook for you. It's an automatic cooker. Isn't that pretty cool? Is that pretty cool? He doesn't care. He doesn't care. It's coming. It's very short time to cook. No, it's not going to cook when you put the fire out. What are you... He's just running away. Look at him just go. He knows what he did. He's not getting any more salmon from me. He's going to play with that bubble elevator. Now I just need to add some tables and chairs around the city as little seating areas for my little fish farm here. There you go. Look at that. 3 tables up here, only with 2 chairs. If you have kids, they get another table. You know, this is, or move it together. You know, we don't plan out how many people are in your family. You get 2 chairs, and if you want more, you just take them from someone else. That's the rules. You know, when you go to restaurants, just take the table. You know, don't actually tell them how many people in the party. Just take the tables.